All right, what's up, guys? So, we are going to go over the consequences of the Mexican American War. Let's get into it. Your objective is to chronicle events leading up to the United States victory in the Mexican American War. We're also going to learn a little bit about what happened in California after the war. We begin with a map. So, this is the map of all of the territory that Mexico had control of. You can see that they had all of this down here in Central America. Oh my God, they had all of that? That's crazy. I didn't realize that. But anyway, then we come up here. We want to focus on this American flag. This little weird shape is Texas. All right? Texas in the eyes of Mexico. Above Texas, over to the west, we have the New Mexico territory. And then west of that, we have the California territory over here. All right. Point to the New Mexico territory right here. Point to the California territory right here. All right. And this little Mexican flag, this is Mexico City, El DF, the home of America, the Águilas. Boo! It's all about Chivas. Guadalajara all day, homies. All right. So the war kicks off. We know that it started in May of 1846. In August 1846, General Stephen Kearny, this dude right here, marched to Santa Fe and took over the New Mexico territory without fighting a single shot? Firing a single shot? He didn't shoot a single shot? What? Why did that happen? Oh, that's because Santa Fe's governor, Manuel Armijo, didn't want to fight. He was like, bro, I don't want no smoke. You can have it. America's too strong. We're too weak. Just take it. And that's how America got the New Mexico territory. So by August of 1846, they had this. Now, this is a little misleading because by August of 1846, get out of here, iCloud. Hopefully you didn't see that, but whatever. California was already part of the U.S. This is what I mean. In California, a man named John C. Fremont led a group of Americans in revolting against the Mexican governor. In all honesty, Fremont and all the Americans were just waiting for the war to kick off. He was already organizing soldiers in California to fight against the Mexican governor there as soon as the war started. This was called the Bear Flag Revolt. You can see here that the Americans are raising the first bear flag. This is why the California flag looks the way it does today. Now, this is supposed to be a bear. Students in the past have said that it looks kind of like a pig or a cow. I don't know what you see there. But it's supposed to be a bear, all right? And this actually happened in June of 1846. So by November of 1846, California was under the control of the United States. We just fast forward, all right? By 1847, the United States controlled all of California and New Mexico. So it looked like this. U.S., 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 U.S. And if you notice, they're trying to kind of block in Mexico City. They're working their way from up here to come down and attack the city. So next person up, next job is we have to invade Mexico. That's going to be this dude's responsibility. Zachary Taylor over here kind of looks like an owl. Look at his like little nose right there. Very owly. Barry probably like him. Fought Big Papi Santa Anna. We remember Big Papi, right? Remember how good he was in the Texas War for Independence? Yeah. No, he's going to get his butt kicked again. Because Zachary Taylor is going to fight Santa Anna at a battle called Buena Vista. And it resulted in Santa Anna running away with his tail between his legs. This guy, dude, Big Papi cannot catch a break. I don't know what he did, but he had a black cat cross in front of him. He stepped on a crack. He opened an umbrella inside a house. He had all the bad luck, walked under like 13 ladders. But this guy just does not catch a break. By February of 1847, the U.S. was in full control of northern Mexico. Look at all of the area that the U.S. now controls. Mexico is sweating. Before I get to this one, take a look here over here, this is the Gulf of Mexico, the water part. All right. So, what the US's strategy is, instead of having a direct assault on Mexico City, they're going to sail boats around here and land in a place called Veracruz. When they land there, they're going to be able to work their way into Mexico City. And that person's job was General Winfield Scott. Winfield Scott was ordered to lay siege to the port of city of Veracruz. You remember the movie of Pirates of the Caribbean? Well, when all of the cannonballs are going boom, 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 boom. Even if for those of you that have been to Disneyland and you've been on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, when you see that boat attacking the city, that's what it means to lay siege to a city. You swim up, you row up, you sail up with your boat, and you go pop, pop, boom, boom, and destroy the city. Once they did that, they had full control of Veracruz, the Americans. They started to work their way over into Mexico City, winning battles along the way. By March of 1847, Mexico City was surrounded by American soldiers. Oh no. The Americans pushed to Mexico's capital, Mexico City. And General Winfield Scott was the general that captured the city in September of 1847. Now, here in this picture, you can see General Winfield Scott raising his hat in victory. You can see the American flag showing us that these are Americans. And you can also see Mexican soldiers that are in the foreground. This guy is already on the ground looking up to Winfield Scott like, dang, we got our butts kicked. And this fool over here, we'll just say that he's napping, but he probably did. By September of 1847, the U.S. was in full control of Mexico, and Mexico had to, give up? Surrender. That's the word. Surrender to the U.S. Now, Americans debated on how much land, if any, should be taken from Mexico. Many Americans wanted to take a lot of land. Some Americans wanted to take a little land. And other Americans didn't want to take any land. And they argued that it was wrong to take land from an opponent that was so weak. But when the opportunity presented itself, dude, California was just way too good looking for the U.S. to pass up. So the U.S. is going to end up negotiating with Mexico, and I'm saying negotiating with quotes, because they're going to pay Mexico $15 million for this land right here that says Mexican secession. Now, this is the same land that John Slidell offered Mexico $20 or $25 million for a couple of years earlier. This is the offer that Mexico refused. Now they offered Mexico even less money for the land that they're about to take. This would be like if you bought a brand new pair of shoes. All right, walk with me on this one. You buy a brand new pair of shoes. They cost about $100. You're walking down the street and a bully comes out of nowhere and says, bro, let me get them shoes, dog. And then you're like, nah, homie. And he's like, all right, I'll pay you for them. I'll give you $50 for those shoes. You paid $100. You're like, nah, get out of my face. So you walk right past him, right? And he claims that you stepped on his shoes. And he's like, bro, you just stepped on my shoes. Square up. And you're like, I didn't step on your shoes. I was just walking. Nah, you stepped on my shoes. Square up. So he hits you, pop. Then he hits you again, pop, pop. And then another, pop. And then before you know it, you're on the ground seeing stars and looking at little birdies flying above your eyes. Oh no. Tweet, 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 tweet. And now the fool takes your shoes off your feet and puts a 20 on your chest. Now, he originally offered you $50 for $100 shoes. You got your butt kicked, and he left you with $20, no shoes, and a black eye. That's basically what happened to Mexico in this situation. Now, we're going to switch the story over to California real quick, because there is something interesting that happens in California right after the Treaty of Guadalupe de Hidalgo. Again, that is a treaty that gave California to the U.S. for $15 million. This KFC-looking dude was named John Sutter, and he was one of the first American landowners in California. He already owned land in California before the Mexican-American War. John Sutter built Sutter's Fort. Look at this, very nice fort, very, I don't know, safe. It is a fort after all. In present-day Sacramento. That's our state's capital today. So this is still a special place for us. John Sutter builds this fort, and something interesting happens right after the Treaty of Guadalupe de Hidalgo in 1848. Gold was discovered in California. This is why the San Francisco 49ers get their name, because in 1849, gold was discovered and it caused lots of people to move out west. I mean, just imagine that. If you hear that there was a bunch of gold discovered in a boondock town, oh, I don't know, I'll just think like Bakersfield, all right? If gold was discovered in Bakersfield today, everyone would be like, oh my God, we got to go to Bakersfield now. And everybody would move in to Bakersfield searching for that gold. This is going to create problems later on when California wants to become a state, but that's for another lesson. So the consequences of the Mexican-American War was that the U.S., let me go back to that slide. The U.S. took all of this land from Mexico and gave Mexico $15 million. Within California, gold was discovered at Sutter's Fort in 1849, causing many people across the United States to move west into California in search for that gold. All right, we're done. Peace.